Well, welcome everybody to another trade recap where we hit SPY today for not one, but two dose bangers. Caught the downside, caught the biddy bottom to the upside. I'm going to show you exactly how we're doing this on a day-to-day basis. So hopefully you can start to become a profitable trader. You can start hitting these 100% bangers like we do almost every single day. Let's get into it, guys. As you guys know, if you're new, if you're joining me again, welcome. There is no hindsight trades here, right? These are real trades taken with the team, making sure everyone is making 100% on the SPY calls off of those bottoms, loading puts 100% on the put trade. See, the team absolutely ate today. As always, guys, let's get into it. Let's get started. Why do we take these trades? What we were looking at? How do we catch these things? Let's just break it down again. I'm going to keep building off of this structure thing. Keep making trading simple for you. I wanted to make it simple for you guys because, again, I'll say it till the death of me. Trading is simple. Trading is simple. It is hard psychologically, but all trading is buyers and sellers. That's all it is, guys. Buyers and sellers. You don't need all these crazy different things. Where the buyer's at, where the seller's at, who's in control when we get into those zones. And that's going to give you your highest probability trade. And again, it's all about probability. Nothing's going to work foolproof. There is no 100% here in the trading world or in life in general. But buyers, sellers, look for those zones. Look to where the buyers are. Look to where the sellers are. When we get into those zones, say we're getting into a supply zone, are the sellers strong where they need to be? If they are not, the higher probability is now we push through it to higher. Likewise, if we come down to a demand zone, buyers should be there. Buyers aren't as strong as where they need to be, right? Where the buyers should show up. Probably gonna be heading down to that next level, that next zone. All trading is levels, finding liquidity, finding where the buyers meet the sellers. I know I say it all the time, but that is all trading is. Please, please, please do not overcomplicate it. So, how do we catch the 100% banger on the puts? How do we catch the 100% banger on the call side? Well, again, guys, we are just looking where the buyers are, where the sellers are. We typically refer to that as a supply zone, as a demand zone. And then within those supply and demand zones, we have specific levels. So where the buyers will be acting as support, where the sellers will be acting as resistance. So let's look on the daily here where we opened up. What happened here? Well, yesterday we found support and we started pushing higher. Awesome. Great. So now that we know that, where do we go on retest? Where do we go on retest? A 592 area. So we could see here, that is a pretty big level. One, when we gapped up after election, 592, held it as support, retested here, and then broke below it the next day when we got into that retest of that 592. So we can see here 592 is that major level, right? Is that major level. Now that we are below it, and we could even see when we first pushed into it, there were sellers here. Sellers became buyers, sell into it, sellers. So now we came back into it. Who should be winning at this level? Sellers, correct. You guys are right. Good job. So sellers should be winning at this level. So we know 592 is that level where the sellers are present. Great. We pushed into it yesterday, strong and long. But what happened today? A couple different things to note today. We finally pushed into that level overnight and then a pre-market high. We rejected it. Where do we open up now today? Where did we open up today? We opened up below yesterday's high. So looking at this, looking at the chart, looking at the price action, thinking about the buyers and the sellers, well, we know we went and retested that major level where sellers are heavily present. Awesome. We started rejecting, we started selling, and then we opened up below yesterday's high. So a couple different things of why we were looking for that sell side in the beginning was, okay, we know we had that major retest and touch into that 592 area, but we also had sellers take control in pre-market and at the open below yesterday's high. So this is showing me, looking at the price action, that the sellers are at least in control in this opening drive, right? The sellers are in control into this opening drive. We retested that 592, rejected and failed. And then we even sold and opened up, right? The opening print was below yesterday's high. So if we pushed above yesterday's high, we know 592 is that level, right? Buyers should be taking control and pushing us above that 592 level. Since that didn't happen, we rejected 592. We broke below yesterday's high and held that and started selling below that. Sellers are in control. Sellers are in control. See how when you start to think about these things, where the buyers, where the sellers, where should they be? Who is in control? It's going to give you your highest probability. And again, nothing's foolproof because trading is just about high probability trades, but this is what we were looking at. Now, coming in from yesterday, right? Big push down right open. Didn't catch that big push. But what we did catch was this bear flag, right? We caught this bear flag. And if you're part of the Wolveswell Discord, you know 589 was that big pivotal level here yesterday, 589. Um, we broke below that, and what happened? Pretty textbook. Sometimes it doesn't always happen this way, but today it was a very textbook bear flag below that level that we were talking about yesterday. If you watch the trade recap, you would know 589 level, bear flag into it. Market was selling off. We knew we were weak. We knew sellers were in control. So if we couldn't even hold this demand from yesterday that we should have held, we held this demand lower where we bounced off of from yesterday, but we flagged into that 589 level, right? This is where levels start to become important. Understanding the levels, understanding the structure, 589 level, bear flagged into it, right? We couldn't break. So let me put this right here for you guys. Because we had a demand here, right? We had a demand here where we sellers started to take control. We pushed higher. Watch that video from yesterday. So yeah, we're bouncing here, right? So, right, the buyers were in control yesterday. So today, where do you think we're going to see a little bit of bounce? Right at that demand, intraday demand. Great. But where are we now rejecting and bear flagging into? Our 589 level. Bear flagging into that 589 level. So we already know sellers are in control. We already know that the demand zone from yesterday is weak. So where is going to be that next level? As I talked about earlier on this video, right? We're just going to trade level to level. Since the sellers are in control and the buyers can't keep this level of demand, zone of demand. Sellers are in control, right? They're over supply and demand. Sellers are going to overtake the buyers. And you go try to find the next level where buyers are going to step up. So we had a couple different levels here today. We also had 587.30. Below that was looking into 586 and then into 585. So bear flag, right? Pretty textbook, breaking below that 589 level. Again, no sellers are in control. We're gonna go look for that next liquidity where buyers will be able to step up. Well, you can see here my 587.30 level, the bottom of this demand. Let me draw this. Bada bing, bada boom. 587, right? And you can see here, we rejected back into the bottom of this bear flag and then pushed lower. So bottom of this demand also did not hold. So where are we going to go? We're going to go try to find that next demand. So you could even see it here on the 5-minute time frame. I'll just throw this down here, make it easy for you. You can see here, right down at about 585 is going to be that demand from yesterday. But let's take a look at the bigger picture as well. Let's go daily here. Let's go 4 hour. Right. So we know that that 585 level actually let's go. Let's try to find it. Okay, cool. 1 hour looks perfect for here. So we know 585, right? 585 dates back to November 6th. We know 585 level, right? Obviously, broke a little bit below there in the 583, but you can see 585 zone here, reject, right? Buys, sells, broke above, acting as demand. Right. So this is going to be that nice flip level. And we can see here on this hourly. Now you can find this on the daily, but the hourly is great for this lesson. All right. So we did gap up, right? You can see we gapped up, we pushed back down, 587.30, and then we have that 585 level down here, the bottom there, 585. So we have you can see I have 586 level, 585, right? Into that 585 zone. So we had that 586, 587.30, I had my 586.30 level, and then down in a 585. So again, what are we seeing here? We're just looking for that area of demand where the sellers can finally see some relief, or the buyers will take over. So knowing that NVIDIA was today after market, more than likely we're not going to break out of this range or break out of the bottom of this range or the top of this range until after NVIDIA. So what we're doing right here is just ranging out. We could see here how I'm finding these levels, how I'm finding these zones. Where are the buyers at? Well, if we could just take a look back here, we know, obviously I have my levels, but we know down in the 585 is going to be that big zone. Now we broke a little low in the 584.73 or 75. Not going to be exact, right? Don't look at anything to the penny. That's why we have zones. That's why we look at levels within a zone. It's going to be close, right? It's going to be close. Very rarely do we get it exactly to the penny on anything. But you guys can see here, price targets and that big demand zone that we were looking at. So one, even if you didn't go all the way out to the hourly, which I highly suggest you guys do, we could see that yesterday we have that demand here. We broke below it. So where is really going to be that next big level of demand? We could see right here is where it was. You could see right here the day before, that's where it was. We could see right here on Friday, that's where it was as well. So we could see that we broke above, and now we're finally coming back to retesting that. Buyers are strong here. Buyers are strong here. And we saw yesterday, buyers brought us back up, coming back to retest. Buyers within this 585 zone, right, is that next area of demand. So that is where the highest probability is, especially when you see a sell from 592 into 585, probably going to see a relief bounce, right? We know the buyer stepped up, buyer stepped up, buyer stepped up. So again, guys, all it is just finding where the buyers are, where the sellers are, going to give you your highest probability trade. And again, when we see here that we had this demand here, we couldn't hold, we bear flagged in below that 589, showing us where buyers should step up, not really stepping up for us. We know that the sellers are pretty heavy in control here. It's going to go try to find that next level of demand, the next area where the buyers are strong. And if we do react, which you could see here how we reacted here on this demand, and now we could see here how we reacted here on this demand, right? We came down, pretty big push out of it almost immediately. That's what you want to see within a zone. We want to see quick action of whether if it's supply sellers or if it's demand buyers. We want to see that quick action movement. Now, again, there are some times where we kind of just base and then push higher. But ultimately, we do want to see that movement of quick move it. Whoever should be stepping up is stepping up within that zone. Talked about yesterday about the castle and the army. Good reference there. So please check it out. But again, guys, if you have any questions, you want to drop them in the comments. I will get back to you. But again, guys, you want to join the team, want to join a winning team, actually learn how to trade. We are here for you. We do this every single day. Love you guys. Again, my name is Mr. Banks. I'll see you next time on another trade recap.